Hello there. Welcome back. This is Kim Klaver, and today's session is how to get buyers because you help people get what they want. You want to fly? Did you read Duplication is a Myth from cover to cover once this week? Yes or no? Did you complete your Why I Got My A+ letter to me? Yes or no? Remember, caterpillars cannot fly. First, they have to go through the metamorphosis, and right now, you are here. And where you want to get to, of course, is the butterfly. So these exercises that I'm going to give you in this session and all the other sessions, if you do them with all your might, there's a good chance you can become a butterfly, the butterfly version of you. That's the part, the metamorphosis, that it takes to become the butterfly. You ready for that? Today, how to get buyers because you help people get what they want. We are all buyers. Think of this. We use our money to buy what we want. The heater broke, so we choose a heating AC company and hand over our money and they fix it. We use our money to get all kinds of things. We might have trouble seeing, so suddenly we find an eye doctor somewhere and we buy the help, whatever it is that they charge. New glasses, new this, new that. Or we want a vacation. What are we going to do? Well, nose around, we check things out and decide we're going to do a 7-day cruise and we buy it. We want it, we buy it. So the question is, how do you get buyers for your product or your service or whatever it is that you've got, okay, that you're marketing? Enough buyers so that you earn enough to quit the full-time job if you want, or not be dependent on somebody else or some other entity, or just have more money, a lot more money. So here's the story. We both know you buy stuff because you want it or because you gotta have it. So it satisfies some need, some want that you have, that I have. Other people do the same thing. So here's what we have to know. What does the product that you have do for someone that makes them want it and say, here's money? So frame that question. Just keep that in the back of your mind because we're going to figure that out. When you figure that out, that's not about the product, not about the science, none of that. But what makes somebody want it because they got a problem? Everything could change in your business. You could go from being where you are right now to 10 times more, 100 times more. The question is, what's the problem it solves that they are looking to solve? Okay? And that they expect to pay for. Don't forget that part. So Sir Richard Branson said it this way. A business exists to solve a problem that people will pay for. And one of his first big businesses was Virgin Airlines. So you have a business, and what is the problem it solves, and for whom? So one night, here's what happened to Mr. Branson. I don't know how many of you know this story. About years ago, he and other passengers got stuck at a tiny little airport in Puerto Rico late one night because their connecting flight broke down. And I told the story in the book, Duplication is a Myth, which is free for you in this class, the ebook, the PDF version of it. And here's what he said. It was a frustrating night at the Puerto Rico airport. I was supposed to catch a flight to the British Virgin Islands, but due to mechanical troubles, the flight was canceled. I was incredibly intent on getting to my destination as I had plans that I could not afford to postpone. It was at this moment of frustration that I had a light bulb moment. I thought to myself, why not charter my own plane? It was a crazy idea, but it seemed like the only viable solution at the time. So I went to the back of the airport, nosed around, and found a chartered plane that was available and negotiated a deal with the pilot to take me and a bunch of other stranded passengers to the British Virgin Islands for a reasonable fee. With a plan in place, I walked back into the airport, stood on a chair, and looked over from the payphone area to all the other stranded passengers. I announced, "Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I have chartered a plane to take us to the British Virgin Islands. The cost will be $39 per person. If you're interested, please come over and let me know." And by the way, this is 25 years ago, so I'm sure it costs more today. To my delight, a bunch of passengers came over, and we quickly filled up the seats on the chartered plane. I collected the money, and we all boarded the plane, relieved to be finally on our way to our destination. As we took off, I couldn't help but feel a sense of accomplishment. Not only had I solved my own problem, but I had also helped a bunch of other people who were in the same situation. It was at this moment that the idea for Virgin Airlines was born. I thought to myself, if I can charter a plane and solve a problem for myself and a bunch of other stranded passengers, why not start my own airline and solve problems for passengers all over the world? And that's exactly what I did. When I got back to England, I started working on creating my own airline, Virgin Atlantic. It wasn't easy, and there were many challenges along the way, but solving my own problem at the Puerto Rico airport gave me the confidence and the determination to make it happen. How does Branson's story relate to our different way of approaching people? Without knowing it, Branson gave us awesome advice for successful recruiting, and I mean recruiting of reps and customers. Business exists to solve a problem people will pay for. His 3 steps to an effective recruiting approach are these. 1. Solve a problem of your own. In his case, stranded at the airport. 2. Find people with the same problem. Stranded passengers on the same flight. That's what he did. Step 3. Offer them a solution at a certain price. In his case, $39 a seat on his chartered plane. Those are the 3 steps. Make sense? Those are the same steps that you can use. Now, how do we figure this out for our own business? Because it looks easy, but there's a little trick to it. Answer these 5 fun questions. 1. What problem does your thing solve? Whatever it is that you're offering, that you're trying to get money for, what does it solve? 2. For whom does it solve the problem? Hint, people who? If you have a chartered airline, who does it solve a problem for? People who need to go someplace and there's no regular plane to take them. See that? 3. What's the specific solution? Now this is a value-based proposition. What is the specific solution? This is kind of a yay without boo. So we get to lose weight without having to go to the gym every day. That's a value proposition. Somebody who wants to lose weight wants to do it without going to the gym. It's not the product, it's a value thing. I don't want to spend an hour a day at the gym. Or somebody wants to lose weight, but without having to do intermittent fasting. So see, these are value things, and the value is, I want this good thing without this bad thing. And that bad thing really is a question of, what does your thing do without the person having to do something that they don't like? And that'll be a value that you have. Like, for example, we have products for people who want to get off daily pain meds, but they don't want to stay with the pain. So if you're somebody who's on daily pain meds for aches and pains every day, but you know you have to get off, because we all kind of know if you take too many pain meds, other kinds of things are going to start going wrong with you. This is a value statement. Not everybody wants to get off pain meds, but some people do. So for those who do, we have that solution. See, that's how this works. Make sense? All right, number 4. What do the people have to do to get the fix that they want? They don't just buy the product. If you want to drill a hole in your wall, you buy a drill. But then you get the drill home, you have to unpack it. You have to figure out how to make it work. You put whatever you put into the drill, and then you have to learn how to dig a hole in the right place so the plaster doesn't fall all over the place. So what do they have to do to get the fix that they want once they buy your thing? So you want to be clear what that is. Number 5, how is it different from other options? How is what you are offering different than other options that they have? Because remember, marketing is all about values. Products are about values. There are cars, low end, middle range, and high end. It depends on your values. Some people say, well, if you're really rich, you're going to buy, I don't know, a Ferrari. But that's not really true. There are people who were very rich, like Sam Walton, who never had anything but a big old pickup truck. So he didn't want to be a show-off and didn't want to have a Ferrari and didn't want to spend all this money on cars because of his values, not because he didn't have the money. So how your option is different from other options will depend on what the values are that really you live by. I'm not into drugs. I've never been in a hospital except to visit somebody ever in my whole very long life so far. So if I have any aches and pains and they offer me drugs, I would always say, no, give me another alternative. Give me any alternative to drugs or surgery that I can for anything that is, age related. And slowly where you're getting fatter or you're losing your hair. And obviously we need medicine for trauma. But for these degenerative type of ailments, I look for things that I can eat my way back to health, I can exercise, I can breathe my way back. And those are my values. They may not be yours, okay? So how is it different from other options? Does not mean what is the science and what's in it. It depends on values. I want to do this without having to do that. Does that make sense? All right, now here's a quick way to figure this out. What did your product do for you? What did it do for you, okay? Remember the Branson story. He had a problem before. What was it? Stuck at a tiny airport in the middle of the night. After, no more stuck. They found a charter plane to take them home. That's a before and after, just like that. And Branson collected money from everyone. He didn't offer it free. He didn't offer it at a discount. He probably made a little bit of money on it. Why? Do you think that the people at the airport there said, oh, let's make friends first, or let's start a relationship with him before we buy tickets from him? Let's do that first. Or do you think they said, oh, well, I don't know if we want to get on that plane until we learn the science or the tech of the plane. What is it made of? And what are the seats made of? And what kind of engine does it have? They wanted a fix. And he had one. And they could take it or leave it. He said, hey, you want to come? Everybody came, by the way. This is what we're doing. So here's a shortcut. How to figure out how your business helps people with a problem that they'll pay for, okay? Your assignment for this session is, what is your own specific before and after? What is your own specific before and after story around your product? If you have several, pick the one that means the most to you, okay? Pick the problem that relates to your product or your business in terms of what it did for you. Either one is fine with me. If you have made some money doing this and you make it consistently, talk about that. If it's a product or service, talk about that, okay? So here's an example. The before. Before taking this product, the eye doctor said, I had a cataract starting in my left eye and I should have surgery. That was the situation. Before taking the product, the eye doctor told me, I have a cataract starting in my left eye, I should have surgery. That's the situation. I was afraid of surgery, so I tried wearing this weird little dot product every day. This is the story of why I didn't want to do what they said. See, I want the yay, I want my eye fixed, but the boo was surgery. Remember? How to yay without boo? Why I didn't want to do what they said, I was afraid of surgery. So I tried wearing this weird little dot product every day instead. See that? That's what I did instead, because I was afraid of surgery. Not everybody's afraid of surgery. My sister seems to be fine. Other people are fine. But me, I'm a chicken, so I'm looking for anything else other than surgery. The after 3 months of wearing these little dots, like they said, I don't have eye trouble anymore, and I didn't have the surgery. That's the after. See that? All right. So do your version of your before and after story of your product or business or service or whatever it is that you did. And again, if you have several solutions, several things it did for you, which happens many times, pick the one that means the most to you, because it's the one that you'll have the strongest energy around when you talk about it, okay, or when you write about it. Okay? So I've got a before and after exercise. There's a PDF right here by the video. You have to, when you finish with this video, you'll see it right there. It looks like this. The before and after story, and on the right hand side you'll start seeing the form that you can fill in, just like we showed right here. Okay, that's right there. That's it for now. So check the PDF. It's outside of this video, right beside it, because remember, Sir Richard Branson helped himself at the airport first. He found a chartered plane. Had there been nobody there but him, he still would have had his plane chartered and paid for. And he could take care of his problem, which was he had to get to the British Virgin Islands. But there were other people that had problems, so he offered that help to other people as well, because they had the same problem. They were all stuck. Does that make sense? All right, so do the exercise so that you can put yourself in Mr. Branson's place. What problem did whatever you've got solve for you first, or for somebody that you know personally and feel close to, so that you know the story? Okay? Do it based on your experience with your product or business, or, like I mentioned, somebody's before and after that you know personally. You want to fly? Remember the story. You're here. These exercises will help morph you into that butterfly right there that you see, okay? Without doing the exercises, you're going to stay right there as a caterpillar. It's fine with me, but know that knowing it is not enough to make any change. The morphing, the metamorphosis happens by going through the exercises, because you become somebody new as you do them, just like with the caterpillar and the butterfly, all right? So go and morph. Do the exercise. Do it now, right here. That's what you'll see. So the video's done. Go ahead and find that doc. You see it right there. Talk to you soon. Next time, I'm going to show you how you can tell what the size of the market is for whatever that you've got that you're marketing. All right? See you soon. Bye.